the Auburn Blitz Podcast, your direct source for all Auburn all the time with Brett Pritchard, Faith Richardson, and Randy Lee.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Blitz Podcast here on a Friday morning. We are so glad that you have joined us each and every day, wherever and whenever it is that you join us here on the Auburn Blitz and making Auburn Blitz part of your daily Auburn athletic intake. Brett here, joined by my good friend Kyle Rush from the Top Button Podcast and the Barn. Always good to see you. Kyle, what's up, man?
Man, feeling good, brother. It seems like new names popping every single day, adding to the roster. It's actually been kind of fun.
It has been, man. But that's where I wanted to start with you, man. Like, you can't take a couple of hours away from your phone. You look up and there's 3 or 4 more guys that have been added. So I think my count's up to 38 now for Alex Golesh. And I remember you and I and Faith on a podcast really right when the portal window opened on January 2nd or right before it. And we said, look, everything seems like the sky's falling. Everything is doom and gloom right now because you can't add anybody. So It looked like a mass hemorrhage of people and your program deteriorating before your eyes. And I remember us saying, look, let's just wait and see kind of how things go. So Auburn had 34 guys get in the portal. Now they have added 38, and then there's still some Auburn guys sitting out there. I think I'll ask your opinion on this, that Mike could still come back, that are still hovering around out there that haven't landed anywhere. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy. We'll talk about the 3 additions that happened last night, really. It's just like my phone kept boom, boom, boom. I was at a high school basketball game. I'm like, man, we just keep adding people. Obviously, we'll talk about how disastrous college sports are. Like, this is not some breaking news, but it seems like there's always something else that pops up that you go, I cannot believe that this is
pushing the envelope, pushing the envelope,
pushing it. And then Auburn heads to Gainesville, in a place Auburn hasn't won in a long time, and it's going to be a tough task. But we'll look at paths to how Auburn can go down to Gainesville and pull out a victory. Auburn is playing better right now. I know the last 2 games, the inside game's been better. We'll dive into all that. But first things first, Kyle, 38 and counting out of the portal now for Alex Golesh.
Yeah, 38 dudes, and you added 3 yesterday too. So they're really working on that 105 number. Like, don't forget about how the roster has changed, where you have 105 scholarship spots. So the next guys, the guys we talked about yesterday, and that we added, and then maybe some in the near future. It's not like you're going to add probably any starter level guys. Right. It's all about filling out that depth chart. Like, for example, last year between scholarship and walk-on, we had 7 total running backs. Now you have 6 guys, and you look at those 6 versus last year's 7, and now it makes a lot more sense, because I know you added Tay Meadows from Troy. They're like, why are we adding? Why do we got 6 running backs? And then Alvin Henderson says he's coming back last night. So you got a pile of running backs. But look at it, at how they're trying to maximize those roster spots now. And you got 6 really good quality guys in that room versus last year you had 4 scholarships and 3 walk-ons. So there's a lot of the number manipulation going on too, and they're getting quality players in. I think there was over 25 touchdowns. Right. I'm sorry, let me take that back. Yeah. Almost 30 touchdowns and over 2,500 rushing yards for those top 4 guys.
I thought, and I'm glad you started with the running back room, because I got a bunch of texts last night after the Tay Meadows thing came out. And they're like, why don't we keep adding? What are we doing? Like, because on this show for the last 2 or 3 days, there's been a back and forth about what people call dead money. Like, you're spending money on guys that maybe aren't going to play, and how much of that money of your roster, or how much of that money of your budget are you putting toward guys that probably never will play? I mean, it's a balancing act. I don't think anybody has an answer to that, but I just had numerous texts about, why are we adding another running back? Does this guy really feel like he can come into Auburn and play? And, I just think that you look at the top part of this running back room when you go out and get Washington. You know, you and I saw that team last year, that Baylor team, and he had almost 800 yards in a very pass heavy offense with Sawyer Robertson.
Right.
And then you get Jeremiah Cobb back. Obviously, he's your lead guy, but you got really a very strong 1-2 punch. And then you
Exactly.
start going down this depth. And I mean, every one of these guys, I mean, we saw Alvin Henderson get better every week in practice, Kyle. I mean, you and I were standing there, Faith, all the people were standing there watching Alvin in these drills at the beginning of fall camp to where he was at the end. And you could tell he really learned and got better. So you had all this stuff up. Again, I think it goes back to what you said with that 105 number. You go out and you try to find guys that have an interest in Auburn's program and see where it fits NIL wise, because all these guys are getting something. Now, again, everybody thinks everybody's getting all these hundreds of thousands of dollar deals. Everybody doesn't get those deals. So does Tay Meadows go, man, I got a chance to come play at Auburn, I'm going to go take that chance? There's a lot of that mixes in, doesn't it?
Sure. I mean, you're probably looking at a little bit of a bump in pay, I would imagine, from Troy to Auburn.
Right.
And I think he has 2 years left. So he may be looking at this from a long game. Like, I've got a shot to compete for a starting running back job, next year, maybe. And because Cobb's going to be gone.
Yes.
Cobb's going to be gone. I might be better than, a couple of the other guys on the list. And, running backs, there's not typically those 30 carry a game running backs anymore. So if I can mix it up and catch some of that production, who knows what could happen in this offense. So it makes sense. And again, just look at the room last year versus this year. It honestly may make less sense for Tay Meadows, but it makes a ton of sense for Auburn, in my opinion. So I like what they're doing. And there's a couple other ones from yesterday that are very intriguing as well.
And God forbid somebody go down with an injury, or you have a couple injuries,
or quit,
absolutely, or quit, leave, exit. I hope we don't have any more of that going around here for a while. But again, it looks. I remember years ago, Alabama was stacking linebackers like cordwood. And everybody's like, why in the world does Tanae Patrick and all the – I still remember all those guys because everybody wanted them, and Alabama got every one of them. I'm like –
every one of them.
Well, you can't play. And it's like – and then Alabama had a couple of injuries. And then it's like, okay, that linebacker room went from 8 to 5. And it's like that's how you get on the field. That you can't just – and I think in this day and age with all of us, we want immediate success. We want immediate results. And – there are still things in life you have to wait and you have to work your way through, and you have to see kind of how things play out. And I think some of these kids that are coming from lower classification schools are going to say, hey, I never would have had a shot at a place like an Auburn or wherever. This is my shot. I'm going to go there and bust my butt, and I'm going to see if I can work my way into a potential. And then I am a couple of guys going down now from getting some playing time. So, I mean, there's a lot of different ways that you can look at all that.
No, 100%. And, this is kind of off the topic, but I'm a huge Alvin Henderson fan now, man. Like, I think there was a lot of questions about his maturity and whatnot when he first got here. And again, I'm sure it was a culture shock coming from Elba to Auburn and being the guy that takes a direct snap every play to – I got a green jersey on in practice. I'm on a scout team. But like someone mentioned to me, a couple of weeks ago about, the last or one of the long touchdown runs against Mercer when Jackson Arnold, busted one for like 63 yards. Right. Alvin Henderson beat him to the end zone blocking. You know what I mean? And to go from there to where he was to where he is now. And then on top of that, he announces he's coming back after Auburn signs the 5th running back, so
major applause.
To me, this is a guy, this is uncanny, to be able to want to weather the storm and go compete against 4 guys that have collegiate production, pretty solid collegiate production, willing to go compete for a spot kudos to him, man. I'm a huge Alvin Henderson supporter from here on out.
I am too, and I think again coming from 1A Elba and looking at or 2A, I think it may have been 2. I can't remember. Hey, by the way, the reclassification comes out today, everybody.
Oh boy.
So that's going to be major news. Everybody's kind of sitting back waiting to see how all of that plays out. But Alvin Henderson could have said, "Look, I don't see a path." Instead, he's gone. No, I came to Auburn. I've got a great opportunity, and I'm going to prove to everybody I'm going to get on the field. And so I'm with you. I'm applauding that. A couple more guys here yesterday. Auburn goes and gets a reserve quarterback from ULM and going to transform him into a tight end. Now, again, he's caught passes, and if you go back and look and see what he did at ULM, but this is a big dude, man, like 6'5". He can go and and again, Alex Golesh is a tight ends coach at heart. I mean, that's what he did was coach tight ends. So Lord knows we need all the evaluation skills around these parts on tight ends, but he seems to be building a very solid tight end room. And I don't know what I'm going to do on a Saturday, Kyle, when I look up and Auburn's using a tight end and they're actually being productive and catching passes and blocking and doing the right things. But it was kind of a little bit of a different spin where you go out and get a backup quarterback that's 6'5", 230 pounds, and you go, I tell you what, we're going to move him to the tight end room because I see a lot of potential there.
Yeah, really good athletes. Like you said, 6'5", 230 pounds. I looked at his statistics from last year. A lot of he was like your short yardage quarterback. Like he would push the pile. So I hope that he's actually going to be a tight end. And I hope we're not trying to come up with these goal line packages with Hunter Herring, but man, why not? Why not? If you got a kid who's not afraid to, not afraid of contact,
right?
And he's a good athlete, why not see if he can play, tight end at the next level? Again, this was another one we had, believe it or not, even as thin as we were, we had 7 tight ends on the roster last year between scholarship and walk-on.
Sure didn't.
And you've added how many, and we thought we didn't have any, you know what I mean? We thought we had no tight ends. And then now look at what you have as the room from a scholarship perspective. It makes a lot of sense.
It does make a lot of sense. And again, I think, and we don't know what the conversations were. He may have reached out and said, look, I'm wanting to move positions. I don't want to play quarterback. My
future's not at quarterback.
Yeah, my future's not at quarterback. Some kids realize that, and a lot of times coaches, and even going back to high school, Kyle, a coach will sit down with the kid and go, hey, your future at the next level is here. You're playing here and you're focused on this, but I'm just telling you, if you want to go to the next level, you need to look at playing this position. And maybe over time, that's what has happened for Hunter Herring. And then finally, Auburn picks up a linebacker. Now, again, with 38 guys coming in out of the portal, didn't have any line. Really, is he the first one? Is he the first linebacker?
Portal. Yeah, first.
So Auburn picks up Michael Matthews Canty from Hampton. So a kid that has grown, and again, anytime
had over 100 tackles last year, 2.5 sacks. So I mean, why not? A big bodied 6'3", 220, something like that. Why not add him to the room? Again, you're talking about you're not trying to find starters right now. You're filling out the practice squad, and you're filling out, the guys that are going to make you better.
Right?
And why not have, if that guy's on the scout team that had 100 plus tackles and 2.5 sacks and 4.5 tackles for loss, at the collegiate level, albeit, whatever classification Howard plays in or Hampton plays in, why not?
No, I agree. And I said that last week. I said, once the initial wave of the portal and you saw the first 15, 20 guys for Alex Golesh, everything from this point on, your portal ranking is going to be probably where your portal ranking is, because the 5 and the high 4s and those guys are probably gone by now. There may be a smattering of guys out there that you could snag, but you made most of your hay with guys you feel like are going to come in and really be a contributing piece early in the portal. And then now you're picking up guys that you see potential in that could get on the field. But yes, like you said, maybe a year or two out, they want to take the long track and they go, hey, I need some work, but I can build into this kind of guy. So yeah, and I don't think Auburn's done. I mean, they're up to 38. I say that every day on here. I think they'll probably continue to evaluate. And you get into spring. Once you're in the portal, you're in there. So all of these, I mean, you can still continue to add guys. And believe it or not, Kyle, there's still a high school signing date out there coming up. And people, like, everybody's like, that's so far down the list now. That used to be a national holiday for everybody that follow this. And that thing's been diminished down to nothing now.
Yeah, there's like, I went and looked the other day. I was bored. I was like, who could you even add?
Yeah, exactly.
And there's hardly any players that are unsigned in like the top 300 or 400 players. And the ones that are uncommitted or just committed, not signed, you don't know what kind of academic status they're in,
Right.
and are they even positions of need? And most of them are like wide receivers and athletes and stuff like that. So yeah, it's not really sure there's much even out there that you could add from the high school ranks up until next signing day.
Yeah, if you're some team out there waiting for the February signing date to make out your roster, you're in trouble.
Big time.
For sure about that. Okay, let's talk about some of our partners here on the program. We couldn't do the show without them. Green, for air that is cool and clean. It needs to be warm and clean right now because it is the weather's about to be brutal. And so you need to make sure your heat is working. If you got any kind of question right now going into this weekend or next week, you need to be calling Green right now and getting on their list. They are the carrier experts here in the state of Alabama, proud supporters of Auburn athletics and the Auburn Blitz podcast. Scout Program Management, a full construction management firm located in Birmingham, Alabama. Check them out online, scoutpm.com. Why do you hire a program management company? Because you don't know what you're doing. And when you're dealing with hundreds of thousands, even millions of dollar projects, you got to have a program management company that knows what they're doing, taking you from the pre-construction phase all the way to the finished product. So when you get the keys, you get what you paid for. You don't want a bunch of problems, and then you got to deal with them. So check out Scout Program Management, scoutpm.com. The NFL playoffs are coming to a close. AFC, NFC championship games. Why not go to Bunkers? The perfect mix of sports, food, music, and fun. Downtown Auburn, 50 parking spots. They've redesigned that whole interior. 2 unbelievable bars, so much space for everybody. 2 stages there now for live music. I can't say enough about what a great place Bunkers is, man, and the food is phenomenal. So go check them out. Bunkers in downtown Auburn. You will not be disappointed. And then the Cart Source. Kyle is a big-time golfer. Kyle loves to golf. Kyle would golf every single day if he could. Love to ride in golf carts, man. Easy Go, Cushman's, Yamaha Club Car. The Cart Source has every type of top brand golf cart that you could imagine. And you go down there and you see how many they have on their lot, and you pick one. And if you can't decide or you don't see one that you like, they will order it. So call Harrison. Check him out, 334-231-2205. Alabama's premier golf cart superstore, the Cart Source. I mean, I don't know what else to tell people, Kyle. I mean, they got so many golf carts to choose from. If you can't figure out what you want down there, you just can't make it.
I just like pull in that place and just look around. There's so much cool stuff there.
There really is, man. It just is a cool place. We'll be down there in a few weeks. Maybe you can come join us down there, Kyle. Come hang out with us. I mean, you'll be in heaven. There'll just be golf carts everywhere. You're going to be trying to bring your clubs and everything else. So
some of those golf carts are wild too. It's like
you
could get them out on 280 and drive them if you needed to.
Street legal, man. Street legal. Got better audio systems than people's cars.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Stuff. So, all right. Jeff said mining gems out of the remaining portal. Keep it up. Hey, look, this staff has shown, and I was going to ask you, that was going to be where I go next. And Ed, we're going to get to your comment here in the next part, which we're about to go into. But real quick, Kyle, just your overall evaluation. I think, man, once you got Byron Brown in here and everybody kind of got eased up because you got a stud quarterback coming in, they went to work on the lines of scrimmage, both offensive and defensive lines. And again, you only have what you can pull. And Auburn missed on a couple of guys, but they've also gone out and gotten some really key pieces. I think what have they added? 9 offensive linemen?
Yeah, you're up to like 17 total.
Right.
Offensive linemen, including your 5 freshmen. But yeah, I mean, your safe number you want to be around for offensive linemen is like 15 or 16, and they got 17 guys, and they're trying to add another. another offensive tackle. So you
From
had
Miami,
3,
right? Are they
yeah,
looking at another? Yeah.
from Miami. It's a battle between us and Ole Miss, so we'll see if Auburn can, pull that one out. But I mean, you're bringing back 3 offensive linemen. There was 3 scholarship offensive linemen. You had your 5 freshmen. They had so much work to do, and you think you got 2 pretty good starter level guys, and then you added a bunch of dudes that have played a lot of snaps that can come in and compete at tackle and guard. I just the floor of that room to me was raised so much in such a short amount of time. It'll be really fun to watch those guys gel over the spring, and then you got a real competition, man. You got a real competition. I feel like maybe your 2 tackle spots and your center is probably locked in, and then you're going to have a hellacious battle at left and right guard with a bunch of guys
Right.
that either have very little time left or 1 year left that have played a lot of snaps. I don't think you could ask for much more as far as how much they had to do and then how it shook out on the offensive line.
I think you nailed it. And I think a thing that we keep bringing up, and I'm sure you do too, about the guys you bringing in from South Florida and the experience of playing together. You bring up guys, you bring up receivers, you bring up a running back, you obviously Byron Brown, and then you got 2 or 3 offensive linemen that you're going to have. They've all played together, and
center
they
and quarterback
understand
is pretty important.
Yeah,
that center quarterback relationship is pretty important.
Yes, I mean it is I'm telling you, man. Yeah, JJ. That's what we do. We bring fire on Fridays here around here. So, but yeah, I think that gets undersold a little bit. I think you're going to be ahead of the game. It's not like you just got brand new guys trying to learn each other. You're going to have a good core with this coaching staff that already know each other very well and going to be able to get out there in the spring and get to work. And you're going to be a little bit ahead of the game now. Again, lots of new faces. Everybody. This is going to be new to everybody. Even the guys coming from South Florida, they're not in South Florida anymore. They're in Auburn, Alabama. So they're having to get used to a different way of things here and all that. But overall, I'm telling you, we graded it. Faith and I graded our class, and I think Auburn's at 12 right now on 24/7. But I think from a grade standpoint, A to F, we gave Auburn a B+.
I think that's fair. I think that's probably where I'd be too. And only because, and some of it was just because, I mean, my God, you had to add 30, you're at 38, like how much money is there to go around to go get, the 1 or 2, big time pieces that are out there that, those $4 or $5 million guys. Like, I don't know. You got more tasks to complete than just going to try to find that one blockbuster guy. And I think they did a pretty good job.
And we don't know which one of these guys may just evolve and go, man, glad we got him out of the portal. We were talking about this in the season. And then you go, hey, nobody really thought that much of him. And man, he has developed and he's become a key. Just never know. I mean, it happens all the time. College sport with Charles Bediako. And I've heard, look, I even have Alabama friends going, look, I'm not a fan of this. They're like, yeah, if we can get him back and he can help us right now, but I would rather it just all go away. And then I've had people take shots and say, well, Philip Jovic was a pro player in Europe and blah, blah, blah. And he played for 3 different teams. I get that part too. And I think Calipari said it doesn't matter if you played in here or if you played in Europe. If you played pro, you shouldn't be eligible. And, I know Charles Bediako is 23 or 24 years old, and he's been in college and then he went to pro. I think Philip, is 20 years old, and this is his freshman year in college. I don't think he's ever been in a college. You can look at all different angles, but the whole thing's screwed up. I'll just be honest with you.
Yeah, my thing though is, and I look, I don't like Alabama and I don't like Nate Oates, but it's like, well, if you're not going to enforce it, why the heck not? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
We need a big man. We need a big man. Do we have a little loophole? And the NCAA is so useless that now a local court in this town of the college can shut down the NCAA. It's insane. So why not? Why not? Brett, I know this would be tough, okay? Because I don't want to see it. but we need Bediako to go off. We need him to score like 35 and 10, and then everybody's like, okay,
I'm going to get my guy.
We can't do this anymore. If he just
I'm right. I mean, you're
like
right.
The Baylor guy is not even like contributing whatsoever. He's averaging like a point a game.
Right.
He's played in 6 games. So that guy, they'll point to it, and if he's not really being an impact, what motivation is there to make change? Whereas if this guy comes in and just goes off, then it's like, oh man, we're either going to start going and getting G League guys, or they're going to get together and try to fix this thing. It's silly. It's just silly season now. Everything's up for grabs because there's no leadership that can get this thing reeled in and just decide, hey, we got to get some type of collective bargaining. We got to get some rules that everybody can agree on and play by, because right now it's like whoever has the best attorney wins.
And Todd Golden fired a shot and said, look, we'll beat him we'll beat him anyway. And
we'll beat them.
Yeah, exactly. And that's everybody's kind of taking their own. Stephen Pearl yesterday, that's what Ed said. He said, well, y'all spin on SP not pursuing the 2 or 3 players available to Auburn basketball because, first of all, it's not right. Number 2, recruiting could suffer. Hey, look, I thought Stephen Pearl's explanation yesterday was really good. I think he didn't take a shot at Nate Oates. He said, look, and he talked about Scott at Baylor. He said, in my shoes, the way I look at it, I got to go back and tell Todd and his dad, I'm bringing in Sharif Cooper and he's going to eat into your minutes. Or, I got to tell SWA that I'm bringing in Jabari Smith. I'm sorry, but, he was just using examples, and I can see that. And, like, nobody wants to do this, but like he also said, he said, look, if this is what Nate evaluated and you can do it, then it's not right and it's not wrong. I mean, you go do what you feel like you've set your standard to do. And if it's to win basketball games at whatever cost, then that's what you go and do. And it's a shame that we don't have a governing body that can control anything. Now, the one caveat to this, Kyle, and can they do this if this temporary restraining order, while they go through all this, will make him eligible to play. What if the NCAA goes, well, in our book, he's an ineligible player. He can't. All this is going to be forfeitable games.
So if you lose that ruling on the 27th,
yep,
and you played him against Tennessee, you played an ineligible player. Even if you win or lose, now you open up the door for probationary action. Now, here's the funny thing. I don't know if you saw this, but apparently Bediako tweaked his ankle, so he's going to be a game time decision on Saturday.
Here we go.
How legit do you think that is? Or we're going to really consult our attorneys leading up until the game. So if you don't play him, you can lean on the tweaked ankle thing,
right?
Leading up to
while a ruling comes down, or while you get more legal advice on whether you need to play this guy or not.
Exactly, especially when you've already said prior. You said he's playing. They were
without a doubt. And then now all of a sudden it's like, hey, Nate, you might want to slow. Hey, can he tweak his ankle a little bit?
Yeah. Make it a game. Give us some more time. Game time decision.
It's amazing how stuff like that happens. Ed said, Mark Pope says NCAA, they're not binding to give them a March Madness. But again, that's what all of this is. JJ said, can y'all imagine us grabbing a proven big out of the G? I mean, we need a big man too. I mean, how much different does this team look if you add a true big man down? I mean, this is what you've opened up here.
Hey, think about this, Mark. Or I'm sorry, think about this, Brett. I was looking at Mark's name on the thing. Think about this. All right, if Bediako, if the rule is, or if the precedent is, if you don't actually play in the big league, then you're good. Even if you signed a professional contract, right? We need to go find a 24-year-old minor league. We need to call Butch, go get him a 24-year-old from minor league that's hasn't hit that second contract, and give him an aluminum bat and watch him hit 900-foot bombs. You know what I mean? And bring him in and give him 6 figures. If that's the precedent we're setting, why not? It's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting to see.
I said yesterday, if we're going to have a circus, let's get all 3 rings and get every clown we can get, and let's just make it a complete and total debacle, because that's where. But now everybody, all eyes are going to be watching that Alabama-Tennessee game. Is Charles Bediako going to come in? Is he going to play? This is unprecedented. But guess what? Next week there'll be something else. That's just how everything changes.
You need a power forward enforcer. Yeah. Like how many YMCAs or inner city gyms and things like that are there 28-year-old full grown men that can hoop out there? Like let's go get some guys that we can use their 5 fouls, you know what I mean, and give them 6 figures to come in and play basketball. Like if you're gonna open it up, let's just
who cares if you're enrolled or not?
Let's just
who cares if you're enrolled in classes? I mean, does that even matter anymore? Does that? Oh, school started 2 weeks ago. Oh, who cares? No, nobody cares. He's only going to be here for 2 months anyway. Ed asked you, Kyle, does the fan base hold SP accountable for not going after a big and a couple more if this works for Bama?
I guess on one hand, maybe you could say, hey, if everybody else is doing it, why aren't you doing it? But then if you're trying to, how many people are actually doing it, and is this going to work out? I can understand your question. I can understand saying, hey, why won't we fight fire with fire?
Yeah.
But then it's like, are you contributing to the problem, or are you trying to find a solution? And I guess I can see both sides. So if you question it, I totally understand it. But if you're on the side of, trying to maintain some sort of decorum about it, I get that too.
But in all seriousness, didn't Charles Bediako enroll in the window of time to get into school? And then
he did.
This tells you that they were already working on this. So now the difference now is they were doing all that behind the scenes, getting him enrolled in case this went down, which they thought, we've already done our legal homework. We're going to get this restraining order. This just didn't pop up. He
didn't just show up in Tuscaloosa 2 weeks ago.
That didn't happen. So what Nate Oates and his staff and his people did, they said, look, go ahead and enroll. The worst thing you can do is drop out. Now you don't have to stay, but let's get you in classes in case this thing works. And now look where they are. But see, the difference with Auburn, if you're going to actually look at the academic side and say you've got to be enrolled to play, which I still think is actually a rule.
Carson Beck would question that, but
who hasn't been in school in 2 years?
He graduated 2 years ago.
But he's quarterbacking the Miami Hurricanes in the national championship game. But now you can't add Sharif Cooper if you wanted to, because I think the last day to get into to add a class was the 14th or something like that. I mean, you're way down the line now in this semester, so I don't know that would even be possible anyway.
Here's the deal. I also don't want to act like Nate Oates did this revolutionary thing. This was kind of a layup. You know what I mean? Like, this was a guy he coached. So there's not that. Auburn doesn't have a Charles Bediako scenario, somebody that's never actually got minutes in the NBA. Like, I scoured everybody, dude. Jared Harper, he played like 4 or 5 games.
No, we dug. Yeah, I dug yesterday.
Sharif Cooper's played in the NBA. I was like, I went down the line over and over again. Janai Broom, he played college basketball for like 7 years, so he can't come back. I went down the line, and I was like, wait a minute, Malik Dunbar, could he come back? Because he's got JUCO waivers, and now he has like a murder charge, so like you can't do.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Yeah, you can't really do that one. So this is a layup. Like I'm not gonna.
Kyle. I must be. I did not know that.
Something overseas. He's like being investigated for murder. It's crazy, but I'm not trying to give Nate Oates a ton of flowers. This was like a layup. He had a layup dropped in his lap, and they made it happen. I don't think this was like him thinking outside of the box. He just happened to have one of his old players who couldn't cut it in the NBA.
And it's kind of like Gates said, it's already been done. So the blueprint was out there.
Exactly. There you go.
Just go, hey, do you want to just look and see if there's something we can do? And I go, oh, how about Charles hadn't gotten in any significant playing time? He's got 2 years of eligibility.
And I'm sure Auburn did the same thing. Like, they probably looked through guys that they may or may not have, coached or have had a connection to Auburn in the past. And there wasn't a scenario quite like the Bediako scenario that they could, capitalize on.
Man, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I mean, nobody knows. Like, it's like something different all the time coming
Yeah.
down the pipe. So, all right, we'll talk about a few more of our partners, and we'll get to Auburn heading to Gainesville tomorrow. They actually head today, but going to be playing tomorrow. Russell Medical Center is one of the top 3 hospitals here in the state of Alabama, and I don't know what else you want. When it comes to healthcare, nothing is more important than your health and your family's health. It doesn't matter. All the money in the world, the things, it doesn't matter. If you don't have good health, none of it matters. Good, clean facilities, great doctors, partnered with UAB Health. I don't know what else you're asking for. When it comes to healthcare, you want the best. Check out Russell Medical Center in Alexander City at their home facilities, and if they don't have what your needs are in Alex City, they will get you to the right facility. So check them out, Russell Medical Center. Alex City Marine, 256-215-3474. Let me tell you guys something. I've owned boats forever, bass boats, pontoon boats, whatever. I've always used Alex City Marine for my maintenance and everything that they've done. They will service your boat. They will store your boat. They've got brand new storage right there on the side of Highway 280. It's just unbelievable. It fit any size boat. And they've got these beautiful center console boats, as you see right here on the screen. If you're listening in podcast world, you don't need to see it. You just drive down there and see it yourself. You don't need to see this picture. So the Blackfin center consoles, the Landau pontoons, all powered by Suzuki, Mercury, Honda, whatever you're looking for, they've got it, or they can order it for you. And now I know it's 28 degrees coming up this week. Now's the time to be shopping for boats. You don't wait till summer. I tell you that every single day on here. Now's the time to get a great deal on a boat. Those 25 model boats are still there, and they're brand new too. And they're looking for a great deal, or to give somebody a great deal. So check out Alex City Marine on Highway 280. Look, I'm giving people permission every day here, Kyle, to go buy a golf cart and a boat. I mean, I don't know what else they want from me, man. So
I love it.
all right. Auburn headed to Gainesville, coming off 2 games where, they needed to get wins. They went to Oxford and got a win on the road. Again, poor shooting from outside. They've made 4 threes in the last 2 games. You cannot do that tomorrow and win. Auburn's been able to take advantage the last 2 games of inside, and that hasn't been there for the most part this season. They've been able to take advantage of it against South Carolina and Ole Miss, but you're playing one of the biggest teams in the country in Florida, 3 massive guys. So when you drive, you got to kick out and you got to make those threes. You got to make all of them, but you got to make more than 2.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we're not getting caught up in maybe some fool's gold as far as in the paint scoring. I think you had 70-something points of your 78 or whatever it was last
72
game.
or 78, I think.
72 of 78 scored in the paint from against Ole Miss. That probably ain't going to happen against Florida.
Not going to happen.
Now, I don't want to avoid it at all, because we have some guys I think that have a skill set of getting to the line. Those guys get fast, especially Keyshawn Hall,
and that counts, Kyle. That's a way that counts as inside points, really, if you look at it when you get to the foul line.
If you're hitting them, if you go 32 of 39 from the line, you can. Hey, it's totally justified to do that. But you're going to have to hit threes. I think Stephen Pearl said before these last 2 games, other than Tahad, Auburn was shooting over 40% from 3. So are the last 2 games an indicator of how the rest of the season is going to go, or are they an outlier? We won't know, but you're absolutely right. You're not going to be able to score 95% of your points in the paint against Florida. You're going to have to hit some threes. Auburn traditionally plays so bad in that arena. I don't know what it is about that arena. Probably going to be I haven't seen a line yet, but I would imagine it's going to be close to double digits.
It's 9.5.
Close, yeah, right at double digits. Yep. So it'd be a humongous win. I'm obviously not expecting it to be a win.
No.
But I do want to see. I want to see some fight, and I want to see us get this shooting thing figured out.
Don't get your doors blown off. How about that?
Yeah.
Go down there and compete, and but Auburn does have to figure this out from outside. Again, like you said, I thought you used the best term, fool's gold. Auburn's had an advantage the last couple of games, so they were able to work it into Murph, and he's gotten better, by the way. Seems to have gotten over whatever mental block he was having. And, what Phillips been able to do the last few weeks has been tremendous, but you just don't have the size guy to go down there and say, all right, I'm just going to grind it out with Florida and see you're going to play right into their hands. But you could get some of their guys into foul trouble if you attack the rim. And I think that's one thing that you got to look at. If you can attack the rim and you can make shots when you have open opportunities, then you could make this thing a game. And then, get it late in the second half, have a, 4 or 6 point game, a couple possession game where you can say, hey, look, okay, now let's play these last 4 or 5 minutes and see what happens.
Exactly. Keep it a game. And see if you can get, within a couple of possessions where maybe you can take a shot to tie or win. That would be spectacular. Looks like Florida lost. Their only loss is to Missouri, and it was at Missouri.
Yeah.
And then they've
gotten better, man. They've
pretty much handled everybody except for Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt was a little bit closer, but yeah, they're good.
They're just a good basketball team, and they're starting to. They struggled a little bit in the pre-SEC schedule, but, I mean, they had a tough schedule too. And, when you're the national champs, everybody's shooting for you. And, they seem to have their sea legs under them now. But Keyshawn Hall can't score 5 points. He's going to have to score close to his average of 20. Tahad's going to have a good game. And then, of course, like you said, you're going to have to be able to, get to the line. And then when you get to the line, you're going to have to you can't go to the line and hit half your free throws. So you really got to play about as close to a perfect game on the road at Florida as you can to give yourself a chance to win.
Totally. We've seen it. You're a little bit limited in personnel from a size perspective, and you got to play flawless. This team can do it. But can they do it against Florida on the road?
It would be such a huge win for this team. Like, you go to Florida tomorrow and pull out a win there for a confidence level. And before we get off, Kyle, just kind of looking into the future, Faith and I on a post-game show the other day, we just kind of did a look into the future. We said, all right, what does the rest of the schedule look like for Auburn? Where could this team land? We said, putting our orange and blue colored glasses on and things working out and Auburn being able to go on the road and steal a couple and then maintaining this team could get to 10 wins in SEC play. 10-8 would be phenomenal, I think.
10-8 is probably your ceiling.
That's the ceiling. That's I said, our orange and blue colored glasses looking at it, it probably will be more like 8-10 or 9-9, something like that.
I think that's fair. 10-8, 11-7, something like that would be the ceiling. 9-9's not super it doesn't feel like that's unrealistic.
Right.
And 9-9 probably gets you on the bubble. And
I was going to say that's bubble territory.
And depending on which, who you beat in those 9, you never know. Some of those early season games that help your Q1 record resume, you could put Auburn over the edge. So if you can get to 500, you could probably make the tournament. And I think that would be under all the circumstances, an unbelievable achievement for Steven in his first year.
Yeah, and what about Buckyball sitting there at 5-1, man? I mean, and
I'm so tired of hearing that Buckyball.
Well, let me tell you, I mean, it was.
He's good. We get it.
I watched it.
Should be 4-2 though.
Yeah, at Mountain Brook, I watched it so much at Mountain Brook, man, and he's brought this in, and so far it's working. I'm just looking at the standings. I mean, you just got a boatload of teams starting at Alabama, Missouri, Auburn, Ole Miss, Vanderbilt, really Tennessee, all sandwiched in there at either 3-2, 3-3, or 2-3.
Yeah.
The bottom part of the conference, Mississippi State, South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma, they're down there. Texas is better than 2-4 in my opinion. But again, that's this league. And then you got Arkansas at 4-2 and Georgia. Auburn had a chance. Auburn blew out Arkansas and had a chance to beat Georgia, went to overtime with them. And you had A&M down 16 at home and blew it. And they're in first. I mean, nobody is substantially better than the other this year.
Totally agree. I mean, and you're a reversed call from being right there in the driver's seat, from being one game back in the SEC.
That's crazy, man.
So when people are like, this team's terrible, they're awful, fire everybody, like, you got to look at some kind of context. I mean, you got to look at it through at least a little context that they're I hate to say the term close, but they're it's not that they're close, but they're right there knocking on the door, and they do have the ability to beat some teams that, you know, you probably think they shouldn't have a chance to beat.
Right. That you just hope you don't look back and go, man, we blew that 16-point lead against A&M. We should have won the game on the road against Georgia. And you go, man, those 2 or 3 games could have been the difference in us getting at the end of the season. You know, I don't know how it all plays out, but at the end of the season, you go, man, those 2 or 3 could have been the difference in us getting in the tournament or not. So, few more comments here. When am I taking Kyle fishing? Whenever he wants to go. I don't want to go next week, though. It's 25, 28 degrees, not really conducive. I used to do it. I don't know why I used to do it, but I hate cold weather now. The steak was outstanding from Pepper Tree yesterday. It's always on point from Jeff. The guy is a professional. So you need to go to Pepper Tree Steaks and Wine and grab you some. Hey, you need to do it now. It's going to be brutal this weekend. So go get you some good food and eat well this weekend. JJ said SP beat Calipari and Patino Golden for the hat trick. That would be great.
Heck of that first year. Heck of success that first year.
Will said he noticed that you changed hats. So
from my morning show to now. Yeah. Sponsorship hat this morning.
Amazing how fast that you can take that hat off and put a new one on. So.
Yeah.
Appreciate all of you out there so very much. Kyle, appreciate you, man. Always. It's always a pleasure having you on our program. Tell everybody where they can keep up with you guys over at the barn.
Yeah, go to the Barn Auburn on YouTube, subscribe, hit that alert bell. So we drop new content multiple times a day. So that way you're ready for it.
Absolutely. And again, we appreciate all of you that have found us, pushed us over 14,000 subscribers here on YouTube. And again, now we are in podcast world. So wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be Pandora, Spotify, Apple, iHeart, all the different things, we're out there. And we're very appreciative of all of you out there. And again, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, hit the like button. It helps us all out. And again, go check out Kyle and his group over at the barn. Kyle, we appreciate you, brother.
No, thanks, man.
All right, everybody have the best day ever and a happy birthday to the one and only Faith Richardson. It's her birthday today. She celebrated early yesterday at Pepper Tree and all, but if you're out there in social media land, send her a happy birthday today. So happy birthday, Faith. All right, everybody have the best day ever, and I'll see you at noon today at JR Sports Bar and Grill for another edition of the Auburn Blitz. Have a good day, everybody.